take this route. Some people, work in the IE and live down here in northern San Diego County, or the opposite. And this stretch is always very busy. And now that it's shut down, it'd be like closing part of the 5 freeway in LA County. Not yet. In fact, our pilot, Kurt, here is trying to keep us away from the smoke. We're not going to be downwind of that smoke. In that you guys are saying we don't know exactly what's burning down there. It's toxic, and some of that smoke is lofting up to our altitude, and we're trying to stay clear. So far, so good. Exactly. With the inversion, that's exactly right. The inversion would allow that smoke to settle down and actually go back down onto the surface, polluting that whole area. So they were really concerned about that inversion busting. You get enough surface heating to break that inversion so you can get the lofting of the smoke, allow it to rise vertically several thousand feet and disperse that way. But still, if you're downwind of this smoke plume, you're definitely going to smell it and feel the effects of it. It's burning fast, though. I mean, we're hearing 3 or 4 hours, but I'm telling you, this thing is going up very quickly. A quick check of the homes immediately adjacent to the house that's burning. The one now on the right side looks fine, on the left side as well. Well, why now? And then you have almost like a mini little farm here on the south side of the residence there. Well, widen out even more. I'm going to show you a really big perspective to show you this large plume of smoke lofting nearly vertically. Again, it's just being pushed slightly off towards the east over Escondido and San Marcos here. You can see this from miles away, and I'll tell you what, ladies, this looks like a bomb went off here. $1,800. That's right. Burning it fast. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. But we have seen, a couple of little areas of the house pop, so to speak, and the roof fully involved. The garage pretty much burned out now. That back shed as well. You could see that garage as we speak collapsing now. The support system, you could see all the beams. But again, very odd for us to see this up in Skyfox, to see this house so well involved with no water being put on it. But definitely protected these homes adjacent to from flames spreading to those homes. As far as we know, yeah. I mean, if I lived anywhere near, I'd be hightailing out of here. I don't know. I mean, it just how sketchy this situation is, where we just don't know exactly what's inside this home. You know, I'd want to, especially if I had young kids, I'd want to get them out of there. But you know, hey, homeowners, I get it. You want to be around your home, you want to protect it the best you can. But they're all in good hands. Everybody's down there watching those homes. Firefighters all over the house. So if anything were to spread, they'd get a hit on it. Right there on the side of the house? Yeah. Yeah. They say 4 hours it's going to burn. Ah. How long before we have to leave to Palomar, roughly? Okay. Meaning better or less? Hey, Eric, could you have me? There it goes, part of the structure. I certainly do. That's right. We are not downwind of that smoke. And I'll tell you what, this house is really going up quickly. Now, on the southern side of the property, we'll show it to you. Some of this shrub caught fire here. It's pretty close to this house. You can see how close it is. So they're going to have to keep their eyes, firefighters, on this home here. And you can see that white film up on the roof there. And that house is at a lower elevation slightly. It's down a slope there from the house that's burning. That is that fire retardant that is eco-friendly that was sprayed on some of these homes to prevent fire from starting if some of that debris were to land on top of the rooftops adjacent to the house burning here. Fire needs three main ingredients, ladies. It's the fuel, heat, and the oxygen, and they have it all right here planned so that it would burn hot and fast, and that's exactly what's happening. I'll tell you, you can barely see the skeletal structure of this home now. There goes something. See how high it's lofting. It's up at about 2,500 feet, 3,000 feet, and then it kind of flattens out there. So there could be a slight inversion there as well. But earlier this morning, that inversion or that inverted temperature trend was much closer to the ground level, meaning that this smoke, again, would linger within the first couple hundred feet of the atmosphere immediately above the ground. That's what they were concerned with. That's why they kept pushing it back, because that inversion was still in place. So there were all kinds of meteorological sensors on scene here, keeping track of that information. They were working with the National Weather Service down in San Diego to get all that information. And at times they even have these incident meteorologists where they'll send a meteorologist out to the site to keep track of those types of conditions. Whenever there's a wildfire, they do that. If there was a situation where there was some sort of toxic explosion and a threat to public safety, they would be in touch with the National Weather Service and various meteorological meteorologists to make sure that all that information was passed on. Roof is gone now, ladies. You can see, I mean, this fire is really burning down this house quickly. I have not. I mean, we've seen some large commercial structures that I mentioned earlier that surround and drown, where they know that the building's going to be a total loss, and they'll surround it. They'll dump as much water on it as possible, but the center of that structure totally burned out with the roof collapsing. And a similar situation, but in most cases, as I said earlier, with a house, you have those pumper trucks on these house fires within minutes, putting water on it. So you'll see a partially burned house, but rarely do you see an entire house burned down unless it's related to a wildfire or at such a distance from a fire station that they just couldn't get there quick enough. And no, to answer your question, I've never seen a house burn like this fast and this hot. About 45 minutes till we have to leave. about that, right? Is that good?